Welcome back to this live coverage of AWS reInvent 2023. Is that what year we're in, Kyle?
I don't know what year we're in.
No clue.
Who are you?
Up to you in chat to tell us, because we're live with you. I'm Aaron Grabelli, one of your hosts. You'll see my face
Everywhere.
on the stream.
Quite literally everywhere.
Everywhere?
You're everywhere.
Kyle, tell the people about yourself.
I am Kyle. I am a security architect person thing that focuses on threat detection and incident response. But what I am very excited about today is not only just all the new features and releases, but how we're making asking questions to data a lot easier.
Yeah. Which brings us to Wei. Tell the people about yourself, Wei.
Hey, glad to meet you all. My name is Wei. I'm a product manager with AWS CloudWatch. Nice to meet you all.
Great to meet you. And this is, for me personally at least, this is the first session where my close personal friend, I like to call her Jennifer.
Okay.
A lot of people shorten it to Jen. Gen AI we'll be talking about here with CloudWatch. I like to, as I said, call her Jennifer AI. But Wei, we're going to be talking about a query generator.
Yeah, exactly.
Gen A.
I like it.
Okay, all right. Anyway, so CloudWatch
Yeah.
and query generator, what's going on with generative AI and
Yeah,
CloudWatch?
absolutely. So one thing about CloudWatch is we collect customers' monitoring and observability data. And we help customers make it easy to manage them, but more importantly, query them, analyze them.
Yes.
So that requires customers writing queries, right? Figuring out what kind of data that they're looking for. So one thing that we frequently hear, and actually I build stuff on AWS on the side as well, so I use CloudWatch all the time.
Oh, I live in CloudWatch logs. As I was just saying in the segment before this, I'm on the game day team. Our application is basically a giant serverless application. So as you can imagine,
Yeah,
I'm
absolutely.
going across multiple different log groups for all the Lambda functions that we've got, trying to figure out what went wrong.
Yeah, I think you're going to like my demo then. So I use CloudWatch all the time, and I query the data all the time. So one thing that I've always found, I wish there was a better way, is what if I wouldn't have to write a query? What if I could write queries easier and faster and better?
Right.
So that's what we're sort of harnessing the power of your friend, Gen AI,
Gen
to
A.
do here.
Jennifer, please.
Yeah. So essentially, with this new capability, you would be able to generate queries as well as update them or iterate them through natural language. So simply by asking questions about your CloudWatch data or describing what kind of insights you're looking for.
Okay, yeah, this sounds amazing.
And what I think is very powerful about this is, even experienced users, they
Forget the syntax?
they forget the syntax, or they even forget maybe like the columns they want to select, or even just like common use cases for common queries to answer a question based on what it is that they're trying to ask. So coming from like a security realm, what's the source IP that did these mutating actions? Or what is the user principal? What would you do to construct that query? And sometimes
Absolutely.
that could reduce the time to get an answer.
Yeah.
Or
Exactly.
increase the time to get an answer. So what we're saying here is we could say, when did AM log in and delete an S3 bucket?
Yeah.
And it'll help us generate that.
I've deleted a lot of S3 buckets.
Speaking of buckets, buckets is right over there.
I know. the S3 mascot is right off camera.
Getting groovy.
Doing a dance, Wei. You see that dance?
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, Wei. So I don't want to rush you.
Oh,
but,
yeah.
You've got your screen pulled up.
All right.
I'm looking at it. Do you want to talk? Do you want to continue talking through as you show us a little bit of this?
Yeah,
generator?
absolutely. Let's do a demo.
We'll do it live.
So I've got a. Can folks see my screen?
There we go.
So I've got the CloudWatch console pulled up,
Right.
and I'm in logs insights. So this feature works with both logs and metrics in CloudWatch. So I'm going to show logs first, and I'm going to show metrics in a second. And what you see here is, basically the logs insights we had before. Now, what we've added here is this little query generator bar.
Okay.
So you just click on that to expand it.
Oh, it's even got new.
Yeah, exactly.
that.
Tells you it's new. And then you can click on the gear icon to do a couple configurations. You can include, the natural language prompt in the query that's generated, Or you can ask the AI to generate an explanation for why it's generating that query or what the query actually does.
Oh, that is neat.
So I'm going to turn that on here, and I'm just going to show something pretty simple. You were talking about Lambda, so I'm just going to ask something like, show me the 10 slowest invocations.
It's like Family Feud. Show me 10 slowest invocations.
And then I click generate, and what it's going to do is, it'll take a second, and it'll generate that, and including a comment that explains what it's doing. So if you're new to CloudWatch, or if you're just starting out, it'll also help you learn.
I like that it's showing the work that's behind it.
Yeah, so I can run a query.
I used to get that wrong in my math class.
My math teacher hated me because I never showed my work.
He'd be like, show the work, and I'm like, nope, I just got to the number.
I used a calculator.
Trust me.
Yeah.
Don't worry about the process. I got there eventually.
And then it'll show me the exact data that I'm looking for, right? It also neatly kind of organizes them into the right columns, because what I care about is which request IDs. But even though I ask for invocations, it knows that what I'm actually asking for is request IDs.
Right, because you want to go find out why they're the slowest.
Exactly. Yeah. I can also use the same capability to update a query. So it could be a query that it generated, or it could be a query that I've written before. But in this case, I'm just going to update this one. So let's say I want to...
so it'll keep the context of what you just had.
Exactly. So let's say I want to show memory used also. And I'll click Update Query.
They're cheering for the generation.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're going generative AI, Gen A.
And then it'll update a query for me based on a request, and it'll also update a comment to tell me what's been updated. So, that's
wow.
That's for logs. We also have the same thing for metrics. So over here, we can ask basically a variety of different things about your CloudWatch metrics data. So let's say here, find the EC2 instances with the highest CPU utilization. Same thing. Takes a second, and it'll generate a query for me. Similarly, I can also turn on the explanation, and it'll explain to me why it's doing that. Again, helps me learn the query language. I'm just going to run that here. It'll generate a graph for me. And similarly, you can also update a query with natural language here as well. So that's available, as I said, for both logs and metrics. You can also use the feature to iterate on your query rapidly, much faster than before, where you have to look up your data first, and then look up the documentation for the syntax, and then write your query, right?
And then you get an error because you typed it in wrong.
Wow. Yeah. So there is one other thing I wanted to show.
Yes.
So it's also a new CloudWatch feature that we're launching this week for also easier, more accessible data, but easier, prioritizing the kind of insights that you're looking for.
Okay.
So I'm just going to switch to a different demo here. So same thing. I'm going to run a query. So you'll notice there's a Patterns tab underneath.
Yeah, that's interesting.
You click on that. So before I was running a query, so over the past hour for this log group, I'm looking at 4,000 log records here, right?
Yeah.
And it's impossible. It's a similar problem around data access, and how easily you can find the kind of insights that you're looking for.
About how many records I generate in about 20 minutes.
Yeah, so 4,000 records, very difficult to go through. You have this wall of text. What do you actually do with it?
Yes.
So we have this pattern capability. Now you click on the pattern, it collapses all those 4,000 records into 10 patterns.
Oh.
So it automatically, again, it uses machine learning to not necessarily generative AI, but it uses machine learning to capture the logs that have the same static content.
Very interesting. So like if it's the log out of the headers for an API request or something.
Exactly. Yeah. It organizes, it collapses all the log records into and clusters them into these patterns, so you can easily glance through them and just see, the most important information that you're looking for.
Yeah, I see it. I see it grouping by like log type, right? Like
Exactly.
info, debug,
Yeah.
error.
And let's say you're particularly interested in one of these log patterns. You can also click on this button, expand it, and look at a histogram of the pattern. You can look at, what are the tokens. So the tokens are the dynamic values. So when you look at a pattern of different log records, there's static portions of the logs, and there's a dynamic portion. So these are the parts that always change from log record to log record. And then you can look at the different tokens to know, like, for example, duration is one of them, right? You can look at what's the trace ID. So they give you a very easy and intuitive way to do wrong diagnosis, to figure out what's actually going on with your system. Now, so for this next one, I'm actually going to go back to what I did before.
You're generate.
I'm going to generate the next one.
Okay.
So I'm going to ask something very, very simple.
I'm going to have to start changing all my logs from got here.
Test, print, echo statement.
Yeah, because, it's not going to be able to group them very well if
Right.
they all just say got here.
Yeah, I mean,
Right?
that's what I do. But that's the beauty of this, right? You don't have to actually format your logs really, really well.
Oh.
It automatically recognizes if
continue
those
using
logs
that
say "got
home-brewed
here."
log library there, AM.
Do you see how AI and ML just continues to enable my toxic behavior? I love it.
Yeah. Well, we don't want to encourage that, but
No, I know. I'm just kidding. Only joking.
No, he's not.
okay. So here I'm going to try something very simple. How about what changed? I just want to know what changed.
Okay.
So I'll ask that. Generate a query.
That's
And it automatically creates a diff command for my query. And you'll see there's a new UI element on the top right. This is
There
compare.
is.
So it automatically, because you asked that, it automatically turns that mode on. And you can click on that and choose what time period you want to compare to.
Wow.
So this is for the kind of use case where something is happening with your system, right?
Right.
You're trying to figure out what's going on, but there's another period, where the system is behaving normal or stable. So you just want to compare what's happening right now to that, so what's actually happening.
Right.
And then that's exactly what this enables you to do.
wow.
With patterns. So I'm gonna do
wild.
that here, and then I'm just gonna run a query.
So I noticed that we've been, looking at like Lambda function logs.
Mhm.
What if we were to extend this to like another service that can place logs in the CloudWatch log group?
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
like-
absolutely.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So this works with any logs,
Yeah.
as long as they're in
Whatever,
CloudWatch.
EC2,
Yeah. My demo is only set up with Lambda, unfortunately, so I can't show others.
But
right
it's
now,
okay.
but
Julian
it
Wood
absolutely-
was just here, so I think
Yeah.
he would approve.
Awesome. So as you see, I run that command, and it tells me, essentially, the kind of insights that I'm
Wow.
looking for, right? It
Yes.
tells me, here are the kind of, the new patterns that are emerging in the time period that I'm looking at right now compared to a previous time period. It tells me, for example, this particular log.
681% increase.
Yeah, so this particular log pattern that says error in it has
That's
a
not good.
680% increase. So that is probably what I'm looking for. If I'm trying to troubleshoot what's going on with my system.
I'm no rocket
right?
doctor, but I think it
So-
failed to establish a network connection to remote host.
Exactly. So it immediately focuses your attention to the most important part.
Wow.
It really saves you time
Yeah.
when it comes, time to investigate. Especially a lot of times it's middle of the night. You
Right.
get paged. You're under a lot of pressure, right? So
Not me anymore.
but I have something even better than that.
No.
So-
I don't believe you, Wei.
So with this, you still have to come here, right? You still have
That's
to
true.
manually run a query
That's
to figure
true.
out what's
you
going
still
on.
have to type in what changed.
He's going to say now you just have to think about it.
Almost. But what if machine learning or AI can just automatically scan your data for you and tell you
What
what's
if?
going on? Like,
What
what
if?
are the biggest changes,
I
right?
feel like
Why
this
not?
is a leading question, Wei. I don't think you would ask that if
You
the
got
an-
me there.
If
So-
the answer wasn't let me show you how it does that.
Let me show you how it does
Let
that.
me show you something.
So, for example, I can go to my log group.
Higher
I can go to anomaly detection. This is, again, a new feature that you're seeing, the new button there. And then you click on Create Anomaly Detector.
Nice.
And that's fully automated. You just need to, all of these configurations are optional. All you have to do just to click on Activate. And then it'll start collecting your data. It'll baseline, from your existing data, so it knows when new things emerge, whether it's potential anomaly or not.
My mind is just racing with all the different security applications that could be done with this, like with WAF logs and whatever else you may be piping to CloudWatch log groups. This is this is awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. So let me show you what it looks like once you have it set up. So I'm going to come here. And this is, so this particular detector has been running in the background for a while.
Yeah.
So now it's showing me, what are the kinds of potential anomalies that I should be looking at. So again, from what we saw earlier, thousands of logs, right? Thousands of messages that you have to read, to figure out what's actually going on. Now you're really looking at 5 things.
Is that second one registering a count of 500 errors? No, I mean like a 500 status code error. Is that what that is?
Yeah. So if you click on that, it'll open up the pattern panel.
There goes the explanation of the tokens right there. So
Exactly. So I believe token 4 is this one.
for memory size.
Oh,
So
it's
you
memory
can see
size.
it's actually the memory size.
Okay, interesting. Very cool.
But like it's a similar situation as what we were talking about before,
Right.
where you'd have to manually go to the logs, run a query, right, and then and then look at the patterns. But now this is automatically just presented to you here, and then this similar error log, it shows you right here. You don't have to do anything; it's automatically presented to you. You can additionally configure CloudWatch alarms on these anomalies, so you get notified, you get paged. Hopefully not middle of the night.
Spin up a Lambda function to fix something.
Exactly. The possibilities are limitless, right?
With 10,000 concurrent sessions.
Well, the scaling is improved. Yeah, this is amazing, Wei. This is kind of blowing my mind.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
Glad to hear that.
There is so much that has just dropped for CloudWatch.
Yeah. So, okay. So you took us through. All right. I don't know how to write CloudWatch queries. Generative AI will do it for me, right? Okay.
Right.
Next, guess what? We've also been checking for patterns that emerged, and we're going to let you know about those patterns.
Exactly.
And now, guess what? You can just set it up and have that run all the time.
Yeah.
You don't even have to go query it. Like, we'll show you like really important stuff.
Exactly. And by the way, you have full control over it. So for example, if you see an anomaly that you feel like it's not relevant, it's a normal
positive
behavior. Exactly.
I'll just say I see a suppressed button there.
Exactly. You can click on that, and you can go to actions, and you can suppress it.
Nice.
You can suppress, you can unsuppress, you can configure different things so it tailors to your use case.
Very nice. I will suppress the urge to suppress everything and just, pretend that everything's going well.
Does your fire alarm just beep because the battery's low in your house?
My fire alarm doesn't exist. Just knocked it down.
Yeah.
First day I moved in. Anyway.
That's what happened to me, and now I don't have fire alarms.
All right, Wei. This is really, I think, going to change the way a lot of people work with CloudWatch. I mean, it's going to change the way I work with it, and I work with it every day. So
I think that's part of our mission here at AWS and specifically at CloudWatch. We're really trying to harness the power of these kind of, whether it's emerging technology or existing technology, to really make our operators and developers' lives better and easier, so they can really focus on things that really matter, things that are more creative and innovative.
Yes.
So they don't have to do a lot of that manual tasks or the diving into the wall of text. That are the logs, right?
Sometimes I feel super awesome looking at giant walls of text. Makes me look cool.
Well,
but now he's taking that away from me.
Which is great. He should. He should take that away from you.
Well, you can still do that.
Okay.
That's true. That feature isn't gone. Anyway, Wei, I assume people could just come in and get started with this right away.
Yeah, exactly. This feature, I showed a few different things,
yes.
but they are available. The generative AI feature is currently available in North Virginia, as well as Oregon. It's not available in other regions yet. It's currently in public preview. The patterns and anomaly detection feature, they are generally available in all regions.
All right.
Awesome.
Well, go out and generate some queries, because I mean couldn't be simpler.
Stop staring at walls of text.
Yes, do that.
Unless you want to.
Unless if you want to. It's your life.
Anyway.
You have free will.
Wei, thank you for joining us. We got to run, but stick around for more from reInvent. We'll be right back.